Hi, boys and girls. So I hope you had a good weekend. And last week you were supposed to do page 236 and 237. And if you could, I want you to open up in your workbook to page 237 and go over this with me and make sure that you have everything correct, because we're going to go over how to find the minimum, the maximum, the range, the mode, and the median. And then you're going to do page 239 in your workbook and do a Google form to answer problems 2, 3, 4, and 5 on page 239. So make sure you're following along with this so that way you understand how to do it. So when you look at your graph, you should have had an x over 1/2, and you should have had these two x's already for 3/4, and then you needed 3 more x's for 1, and then 3 more x's for 1 1/4. And then for 1.5, you needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. And then you needed 3 x's for 1 3/4. We have 1 x for 2 already. And then for 2 1/4, we needed 1 x. For 2.5, we needed an x. And then we didn't have anything for 2 3/4 or 3, nothing for 1/4, and nothing for 0. So when you look at all of this, down at the bottom, what we want to do is find, I'm going to skip 3, but let's go ahead and look at number 4a. Circle and label the minimum and the maximum. So the minimum number is the smallest number that has an x on it. So it's not 1/4 or 0 because we don't have an x for those. So the minimum is 1/2. So this is the minimum. And then the maximum is the highest number that has an x on it. So it's not 2 3/4 and it's not 3 because we don't have an x for those. So 2.5 is the minimum. So the minimum is 1/2 and the maximum is 2.5. So what we want to do next is find the range, and the range is the difference, which is you have to subtract the difference between the greatest and the least value, and the greatest value is 2.5 and the least value is 1/2. So we're going to take 2.5 minus 1/2 to find the range. So 2.5 minus 1/2 is 2. So the range is 2. The mode is the number that appears most often, the value that appears most often. So what we want to look at is which number appeared most often, and that would be 1.5 because it has the most x's. So that would be 1.5. So mode is the number that appears most often, or the value that appears most often, whichever one has the most x's. And so the mode is 1.5. The median is the middle value, the number that's in the middle. So you can't just say, oh, 1.5 because it looks like it's in the middle. What you have to do is you have to line up all the numbers from smallest to largest. So I'm going to do that right here. I'm going to go ahead and do 1/2. We have 2 3/4. 2 3/4. Oops, my pencil broke. We have 1 2 3 4 ones. Commas in between there. We have 4 1 1/4. And then we have 5 6 1/2. 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then we have 3 1 1/4, or 1 3/4. And then a 2 1/4, and then a 2 1/2. Now what we want to do is start crossing these off from right to left until we get to the middle number. So 1 on both sides, 2, 3, 4 on both sides, 5 numbers, oops, 5, I'll have to not count that one, 5 on both sides, 6, 7, we already got that one, 8, 9, 10, 11 on both sides. So we have 11 crossed off on this side and 11 crossed off on this side. So the middle number is 1.5. Sometimes you might have a number where you'll have two numbers in the middle. You'll have the same amount crossed off on both sides. And then what you'll want to do is find what's in the middle of those two numbers. Well, even if I had 1.5, 1.5, it would still be 1.5. But if it was in between like 1 and 2, then it would be 1.5 would be in the middle if two numbers were circled. So the median, the middle number, is 1.5. So that takes a while to do that. I mean, you have to write out all the numbers from smallest to largest, all the x's that you had, and then start crossing them off side to side until you get to the middle number. So that's how you find the minimum, the maximum, the difference, the mode, and the median. So what you want to do now is you'll want to do page 239. Look at the data that you have up here. Fill out, put X's on top of these. So you have everything that you need up here. And then you'll want to answer these questions 2, 3, 4, and 5 on page 239. Okay, thank you.